How much money should I charge for my GoHighLevel SaaS services? Is a question I get asked all the time. And in this video, I'm going to break down the exact same system and math formula I use to charge clients with. This way you can stop guessing prices and just making stuff up and use math and systems to pick that perfect SaaS price, which will sell way more clients. Let's jump right in. So one of the core tenets to understanding how to price things is understanding what things are worth inside of GoHighLevel. And as you see here, we have two different columns: base GHL one time, base GHL recurring. We're going to go into that in a second, and what each one of these things are worth. Because if you're just spending money and you're not making the same amount, you're actually losing money. And the math has to math in order for this to make sense. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to break down what I mean by CRM sites, payment systems, social media, and all this stuff, and then go over what one time and recurring is so you understand that whole segment, and then break down a math equation that you can use to just get the perfect price every time. You just plug and play. That way you are always profiting. So in the first category, we have CRM for both one-time and recurring. When I say CRM, I'm talking about the conversations dashboard, calendars, contact management, pipelines, basically just traditional CRM stuff, all of those included. Then we have sites. So when I say I don't just mean websites, I mean funnels, websites, forms, surveys, anything that would go into building said website on GoHighLevel. Then we have payment systems. So payment systems is invoices, estimates, documents. It's basically the all-in-one system that they can use to collect money much easier inside of GoHighLevel. And it's a lot of these things put together. Then we have social media. So this is social media management, recurring posts, answering comments, the whole basically social media gambit inside of GoHighLevel, which also can do stuff with messaging back and forth. Then reputation management, all of the reputation side configured, plus some review automation so people are reviews on autopilot. And potentially a little bit of local SEO because that will boost this ultimately and make it that much more valuable. Then we have memberships. So this is courses, training programs, communities, apps, the whole 9 yards for anything course and community related. Then last but not least, we have automation. This is just all things automation. So now that I've defined my terms and you understand what I mean by each one of these, I now need to go into what base GHL one time versus base GHL recurring, because ultimately these are two different kinds of businesses. And when you understand this, you'll realize that pricing shifts for each of them. Okay, because once you understand this and you understand one time and GHL recurring and the fees, you then can plug in the math equation I have for you just in a little bit to get the perfect price every time very quickly. So the first we're going to start with is base GHL one time. Pain point. Example: a plumber fixes your toilet, a roofer replaces your roof, and a lawyer helps you get divorced. Okay, they are one time in nature. Yes, they could be repeat, but for the most part, they solve a current problem that doesn't just keep happening. Examples of this: general construction, electricians, roofers, childcare services, painting, moving, law firms, plumbers, handyman, concrete, HVAC, and a ton more. Those are just examples of one-time businesses. Then we have a fact. And the fact is these are harder to do lead gen for and they're harder to automate, but they're much higher ticket than recurring businesses. So that's going to be the one-time businesses, and they're going to fall into this column. So that whole niche list I just showed you, that's what this is. Okay, it's very different from what I'm about to show you in recurring, and it's really important that you understand this because this has a lot to say about price because different businesses operate differently. So now that you understand one time, and then it falls into this category, and those are the niches that fall in here, we now need to go over reoccurring. For recurring, okay? So recurring businesses. These businesses solve ongoing reoccurring problems. Example: you need a haircut, lawn mowed, and back cracked every single month. It is a repeat problem that you go back to. It is reoccurring. I want to make this really clear. Do you see the difference? These, it's a one-time kind of business and it's higher ticket. These, you keep going back to them. It's a continual issue that you need solved. Examples of these: hair salons, landscapers, chiropractors, house cleaning, spas, CPA, tax professionals, food services, coaching, massage, pet care, and fitness. And there's literally so many more niches, but these are the examples, okay? And the fact is they're much easier to do lead gen for and they're super easy to automate. They're just much lower ticket. Not always, but for the most part, this is how it happens. Because with one time, it's a much bigger job. So you can get way more money per lead for these, except they're just much harder to automate and get leads for. And then for this, it's super easy to get leads for, and it's super easy to automate, but it's lower ticket. You make less money. So these are the trade-offs, and you have to understand the differences between these businesses. Guys, when I understood this changed everything, because I was approaching these businesses like these and these like these, and I was diagnosing the wrong problem. I wasn't properly assessing where these businesses were at. I misdiagnosed them. I got it wrong because I was using this model for that model. And all it did was give them the wrong fix. So you have to understand that these two categories play a big role in pricing because they are different by nature. And if you have any questions on this, you can just drop a comment down below. I will answer. And you can even go, is this niche in one-time or recurring? And I can tell you. Okay. But for the most part, you'll understand by just looking at it and going, okay, this falls into one-time versus recurring. So now that we've explained what these mean and the difference between one-time businesses and recurring businesses, we now can go into the base price, which is the default price that you would charge for CRM sites, payment systems, social media on both of these, and your GHL fees associated, and then the math problem, which will give you your price. Here are the base prices. For CRM, in one-time businesses, it's $197 per month. In recurring businesses, it's $97, lower ticket. Websites, for the most part, will be $750 plus, and then $50 maintenance fee recurring every month. That's for one time. For a recurring business, on the other hand, I would say $400, even lower, okay, with a $50 maintenance fee. Payment systems for one-time businesses, remember we explained that, it would be free. You would just put it in there. Recurring businesses, though, it would be $50. Now, you may be like, that's a weird one, but a lot of recurring businesses are heavily reliant on their payment systems for like everything. Hair salons, chiropractors, massage parlors, they have calendars with built-in payment processors where it's a continuing buying cycle. It's so important that they have that dialed in and a smooth payment system that it becomes a service. And they'll often pay companies like Square, PayPal, and all these different things to set up these systems where they have to pay monthly because they need something that's super intricate. As for these guys in one-time businesses, you can call a lawyer, a plumber, write them a check. It's just different in nature. So this is really important you understand because they're just so much different. Social media, it's $7 per month for both. Reputation management, memberships, and then automations, it's $100 plus for both. So again, just so you understand, one-time businesses are different than recurring businesses. And if this doesn't make sense, please drop a comment down below because you have to understand this for this equation to work because you have to price this properly. Then we have GHL fees. Your platform costs could be anywhere from $97 to $497 per month. SMS marketing, I broke it down to send 1,000 texts. Again, it depends on where you're at, but for the most part, especially in the United States, to send 1,000 texts, it's going to cost you $7.90. So you have to calculate how many texts am I going to send if we're doing this. So that's about $8 per 1,000 texts. Email marketing is about 67 cents for 1,000 emails sent out. And then AI, okay, roughly if you factor in AI voice and all of these things, and if they're being used a lot, for 1,000 actions, it's close to $60. Yeah, it's pretty pricey. Or AI employee, which is $97 for unlimited. Now, this won't always be the case. I'll be honest, if you're just using basic AI features and not too much of the AI voice, you'll probably only pay $10 a month. It's not always this much. This is for 1,000 actions, which is a lot. So just remember, I did the averages, the math, just make sure you understand that because it won't always be that way. Then I didn't include any reselling on the white label just because we're not going to that. But for that, you would just mark it up. It's relatively simple. But it's very important that you understand your fees. What a lot of people do is they're selling stuff and they have no idea what's going out. They don't even know how much emails cost or how much SMS. They just do it and they may be making a lot, but they're not taking home a lot. And if you have the $497 plan on GoHighLevel, you can use rebilling, which will automatically calculate this stuff and upsell them so you're making profit on every single text message or email or AI or whatever sent out in your GoHighLevel account. So the $497 plan is so amazing for having this properly calculated and default so you can just make a lot more money. So now that you understand everything, it's now time to go into the equation that we're going to use to calculate the price every time so you're always profiting. And that is base price plus usage fees plus $75 equals your price. The $75 is just a profit margin boost that I put in there. It's fixed. It works the best in my opinion. That way you're actually making money. And the 75 is tacked on as profit margin boosting. So you have the perfect price. Now here's the thing. If you are just starting out, and this is just a big disclaimer, if you are just starting out, I think it's best if you work for free a couple of times. That way you can just understand what's going on. I see a lot of people immediately try to charge as much as they can. If you are an absolute novice, it may be best for you just to start for free to get some experience under your belt. Once you've done that, I would use this every time to calculate the proper price. Say we have a plumber. A plumber would fall into the one-time fee, okay? And say we're going to do social media. So I would go, okay, social media for a plumber would be $197. I would then look at this. So that's my base price. Then I would look at how many SMS and emails am I sending? Am I going to send any at all? So let's do the math. So we got 197 plus 15 plus 75 equals 287. So that would be your price. So again, you find out, is the business one time or recurring? You find the exact thing you want to charge for them. You then add the usage fees because you want to make sure your profit margin. Then you add the 75 as a profit margin boost because guess what? You have to pay for GoHighLevel. And that'll get you that sweet spot every time. But this pricing structure has worked amazing for me. A lot of people are just like, just $297 for this, $297 for that. And it can make sense, but what if they're sending a gazillion text messages and you don't have the $497 plan, you don't have rebilling? You start losing money. Like you have to have this properly mathed out for it to make sense. Because for some of you guys, if you're just beginning, it's not going to make a lot of difference. But when you guys start to scale and you get 10, 20, 30, 40 clients, these little things start to add up and it can make or break you. Because I see a lot of agencies, okay, a lot that have much lower profit margins than you think because they don't do simple math. So this is the pricing rubric I would use for all of this. If you're confused at all, please drop a comment down below. I'll answer. I just want to make sure this is clear because this really helped me and I hope it helps you and it'll get your math properly dialed in. Now, I have one more thing for you, which is a bonus. Because what I see a lot of people do is they get a price, they find out how to price stuff, or they come up with a price that they think is good, but then they do something really bad, which is they just say to people, okay, I will give you reputation management for $197 or whatever, $297 a month. They'll just say stuff like that. The problem is that they have not made an offer. A lot of people don't know what reputation management is, what, sites or just a website is. They don't really understand CRMs. They don't understand this stuff. So what you have to do is you have to wrap this properly so you can actually convey the value. This is your offer. And I'm making this as simple as possible. This is what you need to do when you are offering your people these prices. This is part of actually pricing your software correctly. It's the price to value ratio. A lot of people don't do this though. They literally just say $1,000 for this and no one knows what it means. So it's not valuable enough. So that's why I created this super basic rubric. Okay. So simple for you to understand. So you can go through this and create a really good offer based on your price really fast. I'm talking 3 to 5 minutes to convey the value or talk to them about it. Let's use an example. We are doing reputation management for an HVAC company. We calculate our price. We go, okay, 197, we calculate the usage fees, 15, 20, 30, whatever, and then we add the 75. So it's around 300 or whatever. So we calculate the proper price, and then we make sure the maths, and then we come in here and we add these in. So the first thing is you have to sell them emotionally. So all I'd recommend you do is in the first part of your offer, when you say 297 or whatever, 397 for reputation management, list out the benefits. And all that is the dream outcome. So that would be, okay, you're going to get a ton of reviews. You're going to rank higher on Google. Your SEO will improve. You'll get more clients. It's the thing they like, the benefits, the good stuff. Really important. People mix this up with deliverables all the time and they never sell. So first thing, you have to list out what they're getting as far as like juicy benefits. It's like, okay, you're going to get these results. Then once you list that out, you list the deliverables, which is the logical side, which is you're getting review campaigns monthly. You are getting automated review responses. That is the deliverables. Benefits is what they're basically ultimately getting, the result. Deliverables is what you're giving them. So important that you get this. List that out. Once you've listed both these out and you basically got them emotionally and logically engaged, you then do an act now, which is an incentive. 15% off, 20% off, whatever, and then add in scarcity. So say that we're only offering this package for 5 more days. You can say this in a meeting face-to-face. You can say this over the phone. You can say this on a landing page, but you add these in because it gives them incentive to act now. Trust me, it makes them that much more likely to buy. And again, this is such a simplified version of offers. You can go way more deep into this. So just this alone, plus getting the proper price, you're golden. You will sell a ton of people. Now, part of the reason I brought this in too is so you can bundle stuff. And this is the last part on this is that if you go, okay, we got the benefits in here, we got the logical, I like all this. What if we added juicier incentives? So what you could do is you could go, I'll give you reputation management, but I will also give you automations of reputation management. It actually is just the same thing because you're already going to be doing that, but you want to spice it up. And then you could say, I'll also throw in a small website. That would be an incentive. You could say, if you buy this right now, you will also get this. So you guys want to kind of play and understand the way you can mix and match stuff because it doesn't have to always be CRM plus social media plus reputation management. You can have one fixed price. And then for you, if something is easy, so like setting up payment systems is not hard. It's one and done. Setting up websites, not that hard. CRM, like once it's set up, it's done. They don't know that though. You then can go back and plug it in and make the incentive that much better. And the pricing and the offer side of thing is what kills most people, because they're either way overpriced, okay, for the value they give, or they have the right price, but they don't convey any value and people don't know what they're talking about. So just to reiterate, you're going to come in here. Once you understand you have your business, your lead, you're going to find out whether they're one-time or recurring. You're then going to pick exactly the thing you're doing for them. You're then going to add that to the usage fees, do a quick calculation if there's any involved, add it to 75, and that will be the exact price you are going to charge. Then once you have that, you list out the benefits for them or talk to them, list out the deliverables, so it's all the stuff they're getting, and then a basic incentive, which can be bundling or a discount for them to get it. That, in my opinion, is the easiest and quickest way to sell more people and actually to make money with this. So I hope this helped, guys. I hope you now understand that you can do the pricing on your own. I've used this many times. It's helped a lot. You just have to do the basic math, and then you get the perfect price for your GoHighLevel or SaaS agency. And you know what to charge every time, and you profit every time. And when you add this stuff in, it's the perfect price for the value, and they will buy every single time if you do it right. Thank you so much for watching. And if you are interested in learning more about HighLevel, I have a 30-day free trial link down below, not a 14-day, an exclusive 30-day free trial link where you'll get one-on-one help from me, all the snapshots you could possibly want, a private community, live streams every week, potential free leads and clients, strategy sessions, and so much more. Even trainings to master and sell GoHighLevel. It'll take everything in this video and put it on steroids. Okay, it's completely free. So please go check that out. I will be linking a video at the end of this video to that partnership. So if you're interested in learning HighLevel and doing all this stuff for free, check that out because it is so helpful. Check it out.